Hello there. Welcome back to the Doctor Who Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. If they had left on this cliffhanger and didn't pick up till the next series, that's series 3. Doctor Who is infamous for wrapping stories up. There's never really been a cliffhanger between seasons. But if they had ended with this cliffhanger and that was it until the next season, what a cliffhanger. How would this be resolved? The Doctor and Rose arrive back in modern time London to reunite with Jackie. And we find out that over the past few months, ghosts have been appearing. Although, is it months or weeks? Because, there was no mention of the ghosts popping up in Love and Monsters, which you would think was taking place around the same time period. But ghosts have been popping up. Jackie thinks it's the ghost of her father, which is not. The Doctor, of course, applies science to it, which Jackie's like, well, you gotta ruin it. I understand that, but the Doctor's gotta apply science to it. The people find out that some mysterious secret organization, which is most likely Torchwood, is behind it, and this strange woman that we later find out her name is Yvonne. Right, so the Doctor investigates the ghosts. I do like when he goes underneath the TARDIS console and comes back and goes, who are you gonna call? And he Ghostbusters, and he's got the little Ghostbusters busting thingy, and he sets up to kind of track this ghost. And he does. Yeah. Like, the whole world is reporting on these ghosts. They're everywhere. And you know that in Doctor Who, it's not just going to be as simple as they're ghosts. It calls back to the Unquiet Dead, calls back to the werewolf in Tooth and Claw. Literally, that episode, they talk about it. But, they can't just be monsters. It has to be space aliens. They're not ghosts. They're aliens. It's not a werewolf. It's an alien species that looks like a werewolf. They're not ghosts. It's something else. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but yeah. So, the Doctor interferes with the ghost time, or whatever it's called, the ghost shift. There's shifts, different shifts. Apparently, there's set shifts. He interferes with one of the ghost shifts. Excuse me. Allowing Torchwood to catch on to it using the CCTV cameras to find him. And when Siobhan finds that it's him, she's like, oh, the Doctor. It's him. He's coming. Yeah, so the Doctor immediately, when finding out where this thing is taking place, just activates the TARDIS and takes off. And when they land, Rose has a big smile on her face. She's like, you're smiling. And she's like, my mother's still on board. And she's like, you kidnapped me. Like, he was so, I love that every time. Like, he was so into trying to figure out what's going on that he didn't even think that Jackie was still there. Which, by the way, is this Jackie's first time in the TARDIS? Because she didn't seem wowed by any of this. Mickey flipped out the first time he saw it. But, yeah. So, yeah, they materialize in the Torchwood Tower, which they find out is in Canary Wharf. But, yeah, and immediately they are found. They're like, they know exactly where he's going to land, I guess. And he's surrounded by people with guns. And Rose even like, they have a gun. And I don't. And even if I die, at least I took the high ground. The moral high ground, I guess. He goes out and he's like, then Yvonne shows up, introduces herself, and he's like, I'm the Doctor. And she's like, of course you are. But don't you travel with a companion? So he reaches inside and he brings out Jackie, saying she's Rose Tyler. And I love the gag where he's like, well, she looked into the time vortex and aged 57 years. And she's like, I'm 40! Which does call back to the Cyberman two-parter, because she was turning 40. That version of her was turning 40. She's like, I'm 40. Which also means Rose missed her own mother's birthday. Although she did show up right after the two-parter, so wouldn't that mean that technically... Because, time travel, sure. But usually when you travel to a parallel dimension, it's the same time as you were. So it would still have been her mom's birthday. 40th, too, that's a big one. Every 10 years is a big one. I had my 30th. No. Sorry about that. I keep yawning, I don't know why. But yeah, so the Doctor is introduced to Torchwood and its connection to Queen Victoria. Yeah. Introduced to the ghost shifts and how the ghost came through after this giant, huge orb came through that he finds is a void chip. There's a void between universes. So let's say they go between the universe with the Cybermen and this one. And from the two-part Cybermen part, there's a void in between it. So the ship was lost in the void. They don't know what's in the ship. They don't know where it came from, why it's here. It just came through first. And then the ghost started to appear. And they're about to show the ghost, but the Doctor talks her out of it. He's like, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to just, look at this. He goes to the window. He uses the sonic to crack the window. And he's like, this is what happened. It went through. Ball went through, right? Now the ghosts are coming through the cracks. And eventually, just pokes in. And the whole window explodes. That's going to go down. So when it happens, she's like, we won't let it happen. He goes, oh, okay. Grabs the seat. He's like, Rose, because he was calling her Rose. Grab the seat. She's got to put her hand on the chair. He's like, and Navon keeps looking at him like, okay, stop the shift. Go back a little bit. This is our first appearance of Freema Agema. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But she's not playing Martha Jones as she would. She's playing the character of Addie, who would retroactively be labeled as Martha's cousin. That she would mention later in Series 3. But here... So, she and a coworker are going down to Snog, and they're attacked by a Cyberman. Okay, sure. You think, oh, the Cybermen. No, the Cybermen here now. But, to me, it's like, oh no, Cybermen. We knew they couldn't battle Cybermen in the other universe. What are they going to do here? And then you get the reveal when they come back and they have the earpieces. It's not just Cybermen, it's those same Cybermen. And I think I said this in that two-parter, but the Cybermen have not been as scary as they have till this point. They are so scary. They're so freaky. They're indestructible. They're just terrifying. Right? And it helps that the design looks more serious than they used to. The old ones look like they had a sock and an antenna on their head. Sorry. I know it was the 60s and the 70s, but come on. Yeah, they're very intimidating. And we see that there are some Cybermen there, and then they have control there. So Rose, though, is stuck inside the TARDIS this whole time, and Torchwood decide anything alien is theirs. Wrong. Because she's showing all this technology they have, and it has a particle gun. He's like, that's a particle gun. It's the 21st century. You shouldn't have particle guns. What do we do? Yeah, they're way above the technology specter, which means they should have stuff that could defeat Cybermen, and that's probably a plot hole. But, yeah, Rose sneaks out using the psychic paper to try to get her way in, and she follows someone that we can't see, and is not the person, we don't see their face. I think it's intended to be this same person, but clearly the guy's hands are white. Because I think even if we can't see his face, if we saw a black person's hands, we'd be like, oh, it's him. Cybermen are here. It only makes sense. So they have to use a stunt guy that's white to fool us because it feels like she's following him. Or maybe not. I don't know. She gets in there, and then this guy, Rajesh, or whatever his name is like, do you have any ideas? So she shows him the psychic paper. He goes, we've been psychically trained. This is blank. He's like, Samuel, call security. And that's when Mickey is revealed to be there. Right away, sir. And he's like, and so this is where everything comes to a head. The controlled people in the room, there's 3 of them now, activate the ghost ship and don't listen. But Doctor's able to stop them momentarily, and then they follow the signal down to the room where the other Cybermen are, and then they're chased out of there. And at this point, not only they reactivate the ghost ship, not only do the Cybermen come through the void, but the orb, the sphere, the vessel, the void ship starts to open. And it's get closer and closer to the end of the episode. So, here it is. The void ship starts to open. Cybermen are there. Cybermen will take over the world, right? Mickey's like, we jumped over to help. They jumped over, so we did too. And Rose is like, Doctor said it's impossible. He goes, well, not the first time he's been wrong. So, sorry, I'm going to gush over this cliffhanger because it's just, so the Cybermen are there, they've all crossed over. I do like this one newscaster, he's like, they're not ghosts, they're metal men, as he's grabbed by one of the Cybermen. It's funny. But like, Cybermen are there, and he goes, okay, what do you need a void ship for? You can just walk through. And then you get the reveal. The ship is not ours. It came first. We just followed. And this leads to the reveal that it's not just the Cybermen, as there are Daleks inside of the void ship. Now, some people might say this is too much. Like, oh, the Cybermen are already indestructible. Now we have the Daleks. Yeah, now we have the Daleks. It poses a very big threat, and it ends on that. Exterminate. Yeah, it ends on that. I'm going to talk a minute about this cliffhanger. I think it's perfect. Like I said, if they were to end Series 2 here and say, you got to wait 6 months till the next series starts before we get a conclusion, that would have been like a good cliffhanger. I'm just saying. Also, Torchwood. I don't like Torchwood. I mean, I don't like the implication that they've been around since 1879 and have been just around, secretly working. That means that they were around during Series 1 when the Rexicalifalatorians showed up. There was no mention of them. They weren't invented yet, but still. Unit was there. Unit's been around. It means they've been around during all the stuff of the original series, too. Which is also confusing. Russell T. Davies is retconning things. This secret organization that's actually been around in Canary Wharf this whole time, but nobody's known. I don't know. I also would point out they're not inherently evil. They're just very government. And it goes to show you that it's not just the U.S. government that thinks they need to control everything. It's every government. They think, we find something, it's ours. We have to do it. Like they even said, if it's alien, it's ours. No, it's not. Like, even when the doctor's pointing out, you have particle guns. You shouldn't have particle guns. It's only the 21st century. Like, they're way ahead of what they should have, and that's not right. You know, sometimes humans are not ready for certain technologies. And that's why we get the Terminator. You see, but yeah, the cliffhanger. I hate the thing. The cliffhanger is just fantastic. Sets up, brings Mickey back. Been missing him, but yeah. I also want to point out that the opening for this actually has Rose Tyler declaring that this is the day that she dies. I'm not going to explain how, but that is a major cop out. It is a major cop out, which I will explain in the second part. Because even when that happened, because there's a tease at the end of the last one that has that in it, and at the beginning of this, he's like, because him, like myself, has gotten to like Rose. He used to find her annoying. I do think that she becomes a little clingy in series 2, but overall, she's done pretty well. But yeah, the day that I die, cop out. But we'll get to that. So, what are your thoughts on Army of Ghosts? Let me know so much like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.